word addressing all the students, aspiring minds or enthusiastic minds. Why I call this is that today's students or next leaders or next professionals who work in the industry. So, while I take to you to next slide, you may hear the different terminologies which were not part of the academics, but still going forward, you might come to face all these terminologies when you enter into the industry. Thank you. So let me take you through my brief introduction. I started my career in 2007 in the pharmaceutical industry in a domain of regulatory affairs. So, let me start you through the regulatory. What is a regulatory affairs? Yeah. So before I start my presentation, whatever the thoughts, whatever the presentation I hear, it is my thoughts, my assumptions, or my domain of experience, what I gained in the industry, but not pertaining to any of the organization or any of the institutional thought process here. So, what is regulatory? So, I don't, insist you to answer to my question, but in order to have it a more interactive session kind of thing, so I should not have anything. So, I am just asking out of curiosity, since you are the next aspiring students who want to work in an industry, how many of you know what are the different domains or different departments, work or functions having in industry? At least during our era, before 2 decades back, we don't have that visibility. What are the departments having in the industry until unless we enter into the industry. So even when I am a student, I don't know what is the regulatory affair until unless I enter into the industry. So just out of curiosity, I am just asking, how many of you know what is the regulatory affair? Maybe by current social media or the current or your family and friends circle, someone would be working in industry, so you would have got some motivation to join in pharmacy, right? Okay. So let me start. Regulatory affairs is a vital field in every organization. So, should I give a couple of minutes to our participant to settle down? Yeah. So, I'll take a pause here. I'll give a couple of minutes for all our participants to settle down so that I can start my exchange of thoughts or experience. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Let's start discussion here. So, the regulatory affairs is a vital field in every institution, in a pharmaceutical industry, in a medicinal industry, or whatever in today's we call medical device industry. Okay, the field, what does the regulatory affairs do? It is a bridge between the industry and the market and the different agencies. So in every country, we have a controlling agency. Likewise, we have a DCGI in India, CDSCO for India. Okay, so likewise, every country has its own medical agency which controls the flow of drug into their country. So regulatory affairs team will coordinate or liaise with different agencies and present the drug whatever we discovered or an organization discovered to market it in that particular country. So we liaise, that is, what is the meaning of liaising is that negotiating with the agency for our drug to enter into their market. So regulatory affairs is a bridge between the industry and the market. So that is why I call it acts as a bridge between science, law and public health. So meeting all the legal and safety standards before and after the reach of the market. Okay. Now, just wanted to enter into some deeper discussion. So, what does regulatory do while negotiating with the different agencies? Okay. So, facilitating market access for the developed medicine or drug by obtaining necessary approvals and licenses in respective markets. Respective market, it might be US or it might be Europe, it might be Thailand, it might be Brazil, it might be Mexico, etc. So whatever the country, wherever you want to market, for any developer or for any scientist, the goal is to develop a product. Okay? So this is the goal of a scientist, but likewise, every industry or every company has a goal. Whatever the material they develop or whatever the drug they develop, they want to market and make available to the public. There might be intention behind it to serve the public, at the same time to get the revenue out of the discovery or work what they have done. So the process of making the drug available to the public, the chain of activities that was done by organization, within the organization, by a function called regulatory affairs. Regulatory affairs coordinates, it is only a department by say, but regulatory affairs should be in a position to understand the daily or the current regulations or changes happening in every country and they keep themselves updated. What are the expectations by every different country to make that product happen? Okay, see, there is a process for every discovery or for every manufacturing. There is a process. Likewise, for getting a product approval is also we have a process. So I'll just take you through that process. The drug approval process is a multi-stage regulatory pathway designed to ensure that new medicines are safe, effective and of high quality before they reach the public. So what are the medicines reaching the public? You see a medicine in the medical store, but to get that medicine into your hands, behind this chain of activities, there is a lot of work done by the organizations, done by the agencies, done by the different functional experts to make that every drug available in the market. Okay, so the process is called preparation of a dossier or document. Whatever the application we put on in front of the agency, the term is called a dossier. Dossier is nothing but an application. Okay, so likewise, whenever you want to update an Aadhaar card, you file an application. The expert will go through the details and they will grant you some access or the updation request, whatever you have taken. The similar way, every agency will have their own limitations and requirements which they take you through and they will review the data, whatever you submit, before approving any drug to be available in that particular market. So preparation of the dossier. So this dossier consists of whatever the scientists or biologists develop their product. Okay. So all the data starting from clinical trial to execution of the commercial batch data, all the data accompanied in application will go as a dossier to any particular agency. So that is an application or start point of your product taking towards the market. Okay. So what does the data have? The data, whatever we present as a regulators to the agencies, will have the clinical data, non-clinical data, quality data, and after reaching or after obtaining approval, we will also have post-marketing surveillance data. So after taking your product into the market, does our job done? No. Our job is not done yet. You need to continuously monitor the life cycle of your drug, whether it is behaving in a safer condition as per your predetermined specification or your determined quality or not. In some cases, you might be known about drug interactions, adverse reactions. These and all, when you come to know, once the drug is already available in the market, and it may behave differently in different patients. So all these, whatever the exceptions beyond observations or determined specifications, what you are giving, falls under adverse drug reactions and serious reactions. This is called post-marketing surveillance. So all these steps are done by regulatory efforts within the industry. Okay. So whatever I said, all this work, whatever we are doing, it is named as managing of life cycle of the product, starting from birth to end of the product. Okay, this is called a term as life cycle maintenance of every product. So monitoring changes in regulations. See, there might be a situation once I develop or execute any commercial product and make it available in the market. Does that meet my requirement? There is a chance every day for a new addition or a new upgradation or a new changes. So whatever the change we does for the existing product, as like I said, today I bought iPhone 12. Tomorrow I take iPhone 15. Day after tomorrow I upgrade it to iPhone 17. See, the interface, the product name is same, but what does it mean? The series of names, upgradation of the product according to the market needs or the manufacturer needs. So this process is called, in industry we see that monitoring changes, whatever the changes it happen, straight away we cannot put on the market. Whatever the change we does in the industry should go through all the process of the registration what we have done initially for our product. So every step whatever we do in industry has a regulation by any of the agents. So the regulatory pathway should be followed in order to get any approval or obtain approval before the product is marketed. So this is one step we do, and also see as an industry we see industry does one manufacture of the product and they dump all the products into the market. No, that is not the case. Industry, whatever the industry has set up, they have to bind to the regulations. How many of you know good manufacturing practices? What is a GMP? Good. So please, someone raise their hands. So, can anyone elaborate this GMP? Sorry, no need to worry, man. That's why I said, see, tomorrow you are going to face all this industry. So you should be open, aspirational to have a communication to and fro. This interactiveness to develop today, tomorrow you will not have any hesitation to enter or participate in any of the meetings. See, on a higher note, we see academics, we see professionals, but the interactive session, the openness to talk, whether it is good, whether it is wrong, or whether it is correct, you need to express what you are thinking of. Okay. Thank you. Good manufacturing compliance. So, whatever the industry we set up, if any professional or anybody want to set up an industry, as such we cannot build a building and put all the equipment and do whatever the work we want to do. There is a set of process, regulations should be followed. Whatever the industry we put, it has to be bound by the agencies, regulations and the compliance procedures and standards should be followed before you start any activity. Since we pharmaceutical industry is dealt about drugs, so you need to have a control steps and abide to all the guidelines laid by any agency. So that process is called as ensuring good manufacturing compliance. So what is the meaning of compliance? Whatever the document you are preparing in an industry, that should be compliant against the regulation, against the legal procedure. See, for every activity in industry, we cannot do as such whenever it comes to our mind. Every activity you does should be documented. Every document you should have a checklist or SOP or regulation in place against the expectation of any agency or market. So all these terms are called compliance in the industry. If you deviate the document, whatever it is listed in a document, if your result is deviated, that called as a compliance. That means whatever the document you have generated is based upon the pre-work what you have done, you have to get a document. If tomorrow whenever you analyze that product, the result is beyond the specifications what you have given, that is called a compliance. So before giving any data to any agency, you need to ensure whether whatever the representation results of document you are giving is according to the regulations and predetermined specifications what you have already laid down in the industry for doing any act. Okay. So as I said, regulated professionals is a liaise with government agencies and internal teams as well. We regulatory affairs team. See, in an industry there are around 10 to 15 different functions. So every function cannot individually take ownership to submit their documentation as such to any agency as if they want. So there is a bridging team, regulatory affairs. So they are like they circulate the guidelines of any agency, what are the expectations by agency in order to have a documentation. So in industry we have a clinical team, we have a QA team, we have a development team, we have a QC team, we have a production team. So every team does their own job and they create their own documentation. So likewise, QA cannot go and submit that documentation to any of the agents. Because see, if I start doing other job, I may miss my duty to do end of this. So that's the reason every function in industry has collaborative activity and a teamwork. As a teamwork, regulatory collaborates, negotiates with internal teams, with all the QA, QC, production, clinical team. So we take all the data from that respective function and we make a file or application, which I discussed as dossier. This dossier. So we collect all the data and present in a template according to the requirement and we submit to the agency for the next review process and approval process by the agencies. Apart from that, regulators should stay updated every day because every day the regulations changes. What does it mean? Changes for what? Changes for improving the quality, changes for improving our product itself into the market according to the upcoming challenges, to meet the upcoming challenges. So, as I said, every regulatory pathway has a typical flow of this kind of activities. As a pharmacist, we know the terms preclinical testing, INDA. So maybe during a pharmacy course, you might not be hearing INDA, NDA or something else, but we might be hearing the clinical study, preclinical study, drug discovery, all this. So as I said, scientists and biologists work here. Their aim is to develop a drug, active drug for the availability of the market. Then that passes through different stages of these things, investigational new drug and clinical trial. Then it has to be submitted as a new drug to any of the agency. See, what do we see? I am using a new drug or abbreviated new drug or NDA, INDA. See, these terms you should be aware as a expectation from industry, from every pharmacist student. Whenever you are sitting in front of any interviewer, at least these are the basic terms you should know. What is the bioavailability? What is the bioequivalent? See, anyway you will be hearing all these terms in the academia, in the textbook. But these terms also should be there. Nowadays I hear ICH, at least few people know what is ICH. Openly saying, when we completed our MPharm, I know only ICH, but I don't know what ICH is meant for and what does ICH do, what ICH is representing in the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, so I take this opportunity to at least communicate that the expectation from any fresher or aspiring student come from any organization, at least to have a basic knowledge on this. So once we submit the product to any agency here, the agency reviews, and agency before approving, there are also approved with conditions or approved with unconditions. Like there are several conditions, like we have a patent class, we have a orphan designation drug. See, these are classes. Whatever the drug you are developing or getting approval or making it into availability of the market, every term or every product has certain class of categorization. So that categorization is called, will be categorized here under which class the drug is being approved for market availability. Okay, so if drug is approved here, then every agency or every organization, they start commercializing the product to market it. After entering it into the market, as I said, post-marketing surveillance, where a pharmacovigilance comes in place. Pharmacovigilance, see, the industry is evolved in such a way that wherever the criticality has found in particular area, a new department has set up. Pharmacovigilance has come into force during somewhere in 2004, 2005, 2006. Since then, everybody is not aware that once the product is reached into the market, whether our product is meeting the demand, that is fine, they are seeing it. Whether the product entered into the market, if any adverse reaction or interactions are happening, where is the platform to express all those things? And who does that? Patient cannot go and report any adverse reaction. Or someone cannot go to agency and say, I have taken X tablet, I have got so and so adverse reaction. So there is a process in the industry or organization. So the pharmacovigilance team, whatever the product marketed by any organization, will collect the data from the public through different channels, and they report that to the agency. So the reporting is also having a categorical reporting. If it is a serious drug adverse reaction, it should be reported within 7 days or 24 hours. All this categorization, this is how industries evolve. Whenever they have found these type of challenges, everywhere they have laying the regulations, how every step has to be taken in the industry. So the term itself, whatever I am speaking here, it is called a regulation, flow of the activities in the industry to the agency and to the market. Okay. So, as I said, whatever the application does from our side, it is called a dossier. Fine. That the dossier is same for all the countries. We have 200 plus countries in the world. Does it is the same for every country? Is every country having the same expectancy for the profile or drug what we are giving to that market? Yes. The term or application is same, but the template and the requirements varies. The template and requirement varies. That's what I said. We have a mobile. One is having iPhone, one is having Android phone. Fine. Everything is a mobile, but the expectancy and template. Just I am giving, might not be the good example, but I am trying to make it very simple. The expectancy from any agency is different. Okay, so just I'll give you this would be the typical requirements from any country or any product manufactured by any organization. The dossier is same, whatever we call application, but the representation or template differs from every country. If you see, I have written from MENA, Middle East Association name. There is African countries, there is a Swiss country, individual market, Asian markets, Latin markets. Okay, see, the dossier typically has all these modules. What do we submit in a dossier? Module 1 is of administrative document. What does administrative document refers to? Organizational entity documents. So as such, I cannot only represent my drug or the technical data. I also should represent from which company I am leading and what is the establishments of that organization, whether it is having a good compliance, what I spoke earlier, good manufacturing compliance, licenses from an agency or establishing a drug organization. So that all those information falls under administrative module. So I just wanted to ask, sorry, I might be interrupting once. Okay. So how many of you know these dossiers? Did anyone see? Might be we are from different professions, but still you all are from the academia. So somewhere you might have seen. That's what I am always keep on insisting. This would be the expectation from the industry as a science professional. The basic etiquettes or basic things you should have in mind whenever you go for any interview. Okay? This might be the prerequisite for regulatory but not for other functions. But the terminology is what I am using. This might be the same across the organization. Okay? So module 2 is a summary what we present. If you see, these are same for all the countries, for all the territories, but the templates are different. Here, all these markets, the template what I am giving is that CTD, ECTD format. Same data I give in a different template for Asian market. All these Asian countries, they expect the same data but in a different template. Template changes, content remains same. So then all these Latin countries, they also have wanted the same data but in their own format. Because if you see till now, we were speaking about only the documentation. But how we are representing the documentation, whether it is in English, whether it is in Spanish, whether it is in Portuguese. Same data, whatever I am representing here, I should represent here in their language, Portuguese, Spanish, French. So, why I am giving is that whatever the work we are doing, fine, but to make our product happen, it should also meet the expectation of the other party, how we deliver our data to that party. So, these people, if you provide the data in English, they will not review, they will not grant you approval, because they want the documentation in their own language to get understood. So, these are all the regulations by different markets. Okay, though the activity is same, the expectation changes. Okay, so here also the module 5 or module 4 non-clinical data. Okay, module 5 clinical data. How many of you know bioequivalence? Why do we do bioequivalence? In every interview, the first question from me for any candidate, whether it is from B.Pharm or M.Pharm, what is bioequivalence? Why does we do that bioequivalence? Why not the term bioavailability? Bioequivalence is meant for just I am expecting some definition for bioequivalence. Bioequivalence is for how many of you know the drugs are divided into generic and innovator? Good. Thank you. I saw the rise of hands, but I am also expecting some definition from you guys. What is the bioequivalence? Why does we do bioequivalence? See, we are into generic industry in India. So, we are not doing any bioavailability. What I have represented here. Okay. What is the bioavailability? Yeah, the rate and extent of drug available in the systemic circulation. Okay, then what is bioequivalence? See, you people give me the definition for bioequivalence, not for bioavailability. Bioavailability is that ready to enter in the systemic circulation. Okay, equivalence is that you are equating the drug whatever is having in your body with what innovator. You are comparing your product with the innovator. So, you are proving that my drug is equivalent to innovator. Okay, so that generic companies can avoid, generic companies should not do these phase, clinical trials, investigational drug applications. Okay, so there, as I said, the categorization of any drug differs based on these kind of data or representation of the product. Okay, so I mean I don't want to go much deeper, but please understand what is the term of generic in detail. Why generics are made? See, countries like India or countries like Africa. See, it is not again. I don't want to offend anyone, but yes, we need to accept the reality. Okay, just everybody can access the medicine or innovator. Can you imagine one cancer drug? It costs 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 15 lakhs. Okay, if a poor patient is there, can he have that access to that medicine? Right? So I mean, though my things are very basic, but it is a reality. To access the medicine for poor, the generics has come into place. Okay, so that's the reason the innovator drug, wherever it costs for 10 lakhs for me, from a generic it costs only 1 lakh or 50,000. So 10 times down or 20 times down. This is where the industry has evolved, pharmaceutical industry has evolved. Okay, so just what I said during my start of talk, critically these would be the chain of activities we should do in an industry as a professional to get the approval of your drug that is manufactured in the industry. Okay, so I mean just I am giving you insight. The chain of activities contributes to a role of regulatory. Regulatory, I said it in the first slide, it is a bridge between the organization and the agency. So regulatory affairs professional, see each box represents single department and their work of action. All these activities to be collaborated by a regulatory professional and get that done and submit to the agency. See, if you pass all these stages, then you are going to get the approval. The process itself takes 1 year in one country, 3 years in one country. Again, as I said, it is not predetermined by every agency that once my drug application is put on, it should be approved in 6 months or 1 year. Okay, so every country, as I said, expectation is different and also their way of review is different and their way of approval is different and their way of making drug availability is different. Okay, so again, as I mean the forum said, what is AI role in the industry in current trend? AI is a booming buzz what we are hearing nowadays, but as doctor was saying before this start of speech, AI is not new. The term is new, but not the activities. Okay, I am seeing the software application in the industry from last 20-25 years. But the upgradation has changed and the industry or whatever we call so-called experts, they are tagging the activity or application of tool with AI. Just going through the outline of AI to demonstrate impact of AI and user automation, review process and formula optimization. When I started my career, I used to submit dossier in a paper bunch. We used to print all the documents, say around 4,000 or 5,000 documents into an application and submit for the agency. This was during 2004, 5, 6, 7. After certain period during 2011, 12, 13, the approach has changed by the agencies to have a track. Paper copy cannot, since it is a space occupied and it has a limited life expectancy, the document expectancy. If you review and throw it in or archive it in some data room, for retrieving data, it is hard for both company as well as for any agency. So, the next evaluation phase is that agencies or countries insisted for providing data in a PDF file. The PDF itself is an application, software tool. Why not I call it as a AI? The later stage, I gave a PDF brochure of 5,000 pages, and agency or reviewer, he want to review particular document in out of that 15 or 5,000 pages. So he want to search each page by page, which is a tedious job for him. So later stage, he insisted to provide a bookmark for each and every section. This is the next stage of upgradation what we got in the PDF. Fine, we have done that. We have integrated that bookmarking system. Fine. This is also an upgradation to the application of the tool. In the later stage, according to, apart from this bookmarking, they also insisted each and every file should have a separate bookmarking along with a separate segregation into particular section. They asked us to segregate into particular section. So segregating 100 sections and giving bookmarks for every section is a tedious job for a single person to do it. So there is an application. After compiling all the PDF files, put it in that application. With a single click, it will give you all the prerequisites of agency expectation. It will give all the bookmarks. This is also system application. This is the next level upgrade. This is one stage. Now, in the last 10 years, from 15-16, the document archival tracking has changed. There are different tools called Viva Vault, Viva RIMS, SAS. All these applications, whatever the data you generate, you put it, whatever the piece of information you put it has a tracking number, it has a retrievability, it has a traceability, everything. So whenever you want anything, with a single click, you will get all the things. See, where we are reviewing page by page of 5,000 pages and sitting in front of a system, and with one click in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you will get every data onto your hand, whatever the document you want to do. So this is how, I want to just emphasize that AI, yes, it is good, it is a booming buzz, but it is already in use. Okay, now only the thing is that the upgradation part, whatever we are thinking or thought processes are in progress, it is being tagged as the AI. Okay, so key applications in regulatory affairs. Okay, as I said, regulatory submission in ECD. What is ECD? I said these terms might be boring for you or different, but the term itself is evolving. ECD, electronic CTD. As I said, the paper copy is CTD. ECTD is an electronic copy. Now again, this ECTD is prepared in a tool. Okay, there are different tools to be prepared for these things. As I said, there are different platforms, regulatory intelligence, in which even FDA, EMA, MHRA, they are insisting now to adopt AI into the review process. Till now, no FDA has come and asked to provide the data into AI. Still, since AI is in thought process, not into the application process, till now whatever the data we have given, individual used to sit and review the process. Now they want the applicational tool, applicational model from the agency industry to present in front of the reviewer to understand how AI can make their job easy. For every review of any agency, application itself takes 10 months of time for reviewing the application. Now they are aiming to implement this AI so that the manual review can be reduced and it can be done in 3 or 4 months. This is what the expectation going forward from the agency. Okay. So there is a software tool for every application in the industry. We do labeling. See, every presentation, whatever the drug you find in a pharmacy, you have a box carton, you have a labeling. That is a called labeling. I think I remember still in first year or second year, some teachers would have asked you to prepare a label for XXX drug, name of the drug, storage of the drug, manufacture of the drug, expiry of the drug. That is called a labeling. Every country has a requirement. That is what, see, as an industry, every function falls in the industry, but every function has a separate domain and a set of function to perform that or does that action. Okay, so for every activity or function has their own tools in the industry where they are applying or using effectively to get the work done in a easier manner. Okay, so advantages, as I said, efficacy and speed. Compared to manual model, when you apply or create any data or document, whether it is creation or review, it gives you efficacy and speed. You get every information in a seconds on your fingertips. Okay, accurate, accelerated submission. So when it compared to manual, it may take 1 month to compile a data. If it is in a submission system-based application, it takes only 1 day for you to compile. So the reducing the timeline for doing the activity, it is reduced 29 days. I am giving only an example. Okay, see how effectively we are using the tools to reduce the resource of time. Okay, and cost saving. So instead of 100 people doing one activity, single system does that same activity in 1 day. So gone 99 people's work does by a system in single day. See, this is the next evaluation in the industry. Okay? Global harmonization. As I said, the initial talk, every country is having a different requirement. So which is a pain point for industry to pass all these things. So I have a drug to market it across the world. I can succeed in one country, I cannot succeed in another country because of expectations from different countries. So what we are expecting from the industry is that harmonization should happen and steps are laid towards that harmonization in every function. So I think in next 5 to 10 years you can see that harmonization as well in application rising from industry. Improve patient safety through better monitoring and risk. As I said, if I got any adverse reactions, I don't know, some person has got in Vizag some reaction. To get that known by the people, it used to take a lot of days in earlier. Now, because of this social media existence, okay, everything is online now. So you can get things known within 24 hours. So as like I said, pharmacovigilance takes place and the reactions be updated to that particular agency for well-being of patients or for well-being of the human being. So those things are reported as early as possible to the agency. Challenges, as I said, validation and transparency. These are the challenges from system applications. Though we have challenges in applying and taking work done from the system, but still we have limited challenges from the system, which we are overcoming during the course of applications as well. So here I just listed different software tools already in existence in industry. So I am from regulatory background. We use Viva Volumes, ECPD software, like Laurent and Document, and QMS systems, master control, and here Honeywell process solution, data computational platform, and clinical rights and drug safety. Here, as I said, Iris Global is a system where you update the reactions to the agencies. Sorry. So I stop here with my presentation. So since I am from industry, I said maybe academic point of view, I may not give you all these structural things and all those things, but from expectancy point, as I said, the basics should be there on your fingertips from every aspirational person coming out of academics to the industry. And out of this, I just wanted to share my thing. Thanks for giving this platform, and I thank principals and from the management to have such kind of conferences so that everybody can come to a platform where things can be exchanged between the different professionals. So at least during our era these kind of platforms were not At least you are blessed enough to have these kind of platforms from the organization. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your excellent insights and clear presentation. This session on the regulatory landscape, modern automation solutions, and industrial practice was simple, engaging, and very useful for the students. He explained the importance of regulatory advice, the drug approval process, and the global regulatory expectations in the easy and understandable manner. His real industrial experience made us to understand easy. Sir also highlighted the various stages of drug approval and the growing role of AI tools and automation in regulatory world, giving the students clear idea of future and opportunities in the field. And we discussed about the challenges also. And one more thing I would like to say, we must understand what he is saying that he is sharing everything with his real experience. When I discussed with him, he told me that he entered into this field in 2007. He had a lot of experience, and whatever he presented here, he just delivered with his experience only. And also he asked a few questions, like bioavailability and bioequivalence. So if you couldn't able to answer those questions, you must have to assess yourself. Why you are not able to answer these questions? Okay, and also he is saying that we should have the basic knowledge. He is not saying that you should have depth knowledge to enter into these fields. So that's what we should learn. The fundamental things we should know about everything. Fundamentals. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you, sir. If you have any queries, you can ask Sir Granules. This is open for your queries.
So I think this silence, there's no questions on my speech.
I think many of you are having interest in regulatory affairs. If you have any questions, how can you do the fees, you can ask. And what you have to do, like that. When we interact with the students, they used to say that we are interested in regulatory affairs. So you can ask any questions regarding that. Especially from the final year.
Out of the box, just wanted to share the most thought process. Since I was discussing the delegates, the different of the, we came to know that, see, we are, yes,
Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, since students are not asking, I think I can ask on their behalf what
Yes.
they are hesitating. And because I know I had few questions when I was a student related to this area. So, very basic question, for example, if students want to get into this area, so related to that, what will be your advice, for example, in terms of qualification, whether B Farm is enough or M Farm, and if M Farm is required, whether which specialization, and whether PhD will help them further, or is it not important to get into this area? So these kind of basic things.
thanks, Doctor. So on behalf of students, Doctor has raised the question or appropriate point to be known by everybody. See, I mean, way back if you see before 2010, it's around 2005 or 6 or 10, 11, there is no specificity that every individual should have a B.Com or M.Com or PhD. We want that talent, personnel who can work, who can accommodate their time in the department. That was the expectation. During the changes, what people are also understanding. See, at one particular time, not only the quantum of work is required, the quality of work is also necessary. So, then the thought process has changed for entering into regulatory affairs. The minimal qualification should be the master's. I don't say this is a hard and fast rule, but the expectancy from most of the organizations is informed. But once again, I just wanted to reiterate that the current trend is resource competitive trend. So, whenever we get a professional with at least the basic activities or basic understanding on the industrial front, we can get it. But on a outer note, I say students should have masters and PhDs as well. But as you said, one more point I just wanted to add. From every organization or renowned institution, what we are hearing is that there is a connectivity miss between the academia and industry on the expectational front from qualification side or whatever the expert domains are. Because in the academia we don't see, at least nowadays we are seeing regulatory QA, all these things. But during our time it is a pharmacognosy analysis or something. There was like, if I am doing analysis, I should enter into PCR, analytical department. That is not the case. Because regulatory does all the end-to-end jobs. So, any professional can be picked into the industry. Thank you, sir.
Sir, they are asking about is there any overseas opportunities for the regulatory affairs?
As such, I see, I don't want to disappoint guys. I see no opportunities if you pursue regulatory expertise in your domain. Overseas opportunities are not open. Because I'll just quote a couple of examples. I don't comment on a political scenario or upcoming market trend. But if you see in India, you might be hearing all the US big bugs or big companies are establishing their knowledge parks in India. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Bombay, Sandoz, Novartis, EMS, Anjan. See, why I am saying is that at least you might have not heard these companies' names, but all these companies, they are entities. Pfizer. Pfizer is a known company. Novartis is a known company for any aspiring thing. Okay. So all those companies establishing their knowledge centers in India because India having the expertise resource expectations or expert resources are available here. So I don't see any overseas opportunities. And again I'm insisting or emphasizing, do not fall for this whatever fancy called foreign. If you go to US, you will get a good opportunity. See, there are cases, and beyond the ethics, what I say, the luck factor. Not everybody gets a good opportunity. Okay. At the same time, when you are in India, you can have a lot of opportunities here to explore your own domain.
Thank you, Anjan Kumar sir, for your valuable insights about global regulatory landscape and expectations. Once again, thank you, sir. It's time to felicitate our keynote speaker, Mr. M. Anjan Kumar sir. I request our principal, Dr. A. Narendra Babu sir, onto the dais, and M. Manoj Kumar garu onto the dais, and other keynote speakers join in the felicitation ceremony, and the faculty members, please join us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.